Hey, it's Lorraine Pursell. So happy you're here, either live or watching the replay. And oh my God, it's just been coming to me today, this topic. And again, Troy, you would be so happy. I mean, look at me. Okay, my hair's as normal, but makeup, got a little jewelry on. I mean, Troy would be so proud of me. And I even made notes again, like a page and a half. It just flowed out of me. So I think maybe my fear of taking notes and like thinking about it a little bit is going to stop my flow. I think I'm coming along. Okay, so Lorraine Pursell. I've been 23 years in the mental health industry, counselor, coach, educational therapist. Helping people since 1995, so that makes it 24 years now. Well, in June it'll be 24 years. And you know, I'm never going to stop looking halfway done because being polished is boring. For more of my work, go to 3keys2selflove.com, www.3keys2selflove.com. And the reason that I am so passionate about helping people feel better about myself is a long story that you will get a glimpse of in the free ebook. The free ebook at 3keys2selflove.com. I go into my story. It's going to make you feel really good about you no matter where you are with your life. But I basically was miserable most of my life from the time I was a little girl. And I just wanted to help people feel better. At 12, I said I wanted to help people feel better about themselves because I felt so not good about myself. You know, I had almost every day of my life, when I could finally realize what it was, I just wanted to leave the planet. Suicidal ideations almost every day of my life. But there was this other side of me that was like hope against hope. Do you know what I'm saying with hope against hope? Just like hope against hope. Like, this is hopeless. I feel hopeless, but there's got to be a pony in here somewhere. There's got to be something. I'm here on earth. Other people are happy. There's got to be something here for me too. So it's been my life's work, really, to get myself out of depression and then to help turn around. And once that worked for me and I figured it out and reverse engineered the whole thing 6 years ago when I did get myself out of suicidal ideation, depression, without drugs or medication. So proud of myself. I had an 18-year addiction to Zoloft. I could not get off Zoloft once my mom died. I went on Zoloft because I couldn't stop crying. And I couldn't get off. And, you know, well-meaning professionals, nobody showed me how to. Till I hired a coach for $10,000 to have my back while I did the work. And so I did. And just knowing that he and his wife were there for me if I ever needed, I never needed to use them. I just knew they were there. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can share to a group. So mine has been a very, here we go, share. Woo! Oh, see, it says right post, more options. For some reason, I'm not able to share anymore. Facebook is just gonna take me right back here. So, you know what, everybody? I am so sorry, but yeah, I used to share in the groups, but there's no way for me to do that. Let's see if there's any way to do it here. Nothing down here. I'm so sorry. I used to be able to share to my other groups, but there's nothing now. You know, Facebook, we love it. It's always changing. So what I wanted to, now I am in Bliss, and on the days that I'm not in Bliss, I know how to get there. I have cracked the code on depression, especially since the last, I'd say, 6 months, big time. Back in November, I did a 7-day challenge called Get Happy, Stay Happy. It was a 7-day challenge. And after that 7-day challenge, there was a group of us that just continued and are still continuing 5 months later. And it's a daily live stream where I show up and I share the downloads. So I'm always getting my downloads from source because I upgrade almost every night. Almost every single night, I get like a new operating system from source. I actually pray for it. And so there are downloads that come to me every single day, realizations. And so I get on this live stream with these ladies and I just let it rip. And then we go into the quantum field together, which is the space of feeling good. And which universe and which planet Earth are you going to choose? Because each fraction of a second, there are a million billion different planet Earths and different universes available to us. Which one are you going to choose? So it's powerful, powerful stuff. And in the process of every single day, there's not been one day that I've missed. I think there was one day that I forgot. But out of 5 months, I haven't missed a day except maybe once. And that's because I completely forgot about it. It happens. So there's a key in that also. Being visible, speaking our truth, fully self-expressing. Those of you who know me, you know I'm just totally goofy as hell. Right, Vixter? I mean, all you have to do is tune in on Mondays to Fairy Godmother Monday and just laugh your ass off with me, at me, as I am being my alter ego, one of my alter egos, which is your fairy godmother, with my wand and my little tiara, with uncombed hair and a t-shirt or whatever. But I show you how to make your own dreams come true. And that's what it's all about. When you realize how much power you have, how much of a creator you are, and how much of this God is just waiting for you to say what you want, and then to hold the dream, do what it takes until it takes, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course, no matter how bad you feel, and you just keep going and going and going and going. And that story about the two boys in front of two doors that open up the room and they're full of manure. And the one boy goes, ew, and runs away. And the other boy dives into the manure and he's digging and digging and digging. And they're saying, what are you doing? And he says, well, I figure with all this manure, there's got to be a pony in here somewhere. So you just keep digging because there's got to be a pony in here somewhere. In this life, when you see people who are happy and they don't seem to have a care in the world, you deserve that. There are actually people who don't suffer from depression, low self-esteem, sadness, grief, shame. I had a crazy thing happen to me Monday morning at 4:30 a.m., packing my laundry in the back of my Jeep and have a pack of coyotes gnawing at me. I didn't look back to jump in my Jeep and drove like hell. Wow, can still feel the growls in my head. Now, was this a dream, Vicki? Because you don't have a Jeep now, do you? I'm just curious. I mean, a pack of wolves, maybe. I get it. But is this your vision where you live, in your future with your Jeep at the lake and all this? No, it was real? There were a pack of coyotes? Wow, 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 wow. You have a Jeep now? What kind of Jeep do you have? What kind of Jeep do you have, sister? I have a Jeep. Wow. You know what, Vicki? That is such an omen. Look up what coyotes mean. It's something very powerful. Okay. So I had eating disorders that I discovered when I was 6. I used to binge purge when I was 6 years old. I used to pull out my hair. I used to pop my knuckles. I started popping my knuckles when I was 6. Tell me there wasn't some anxiety going on so much in my early childhood that I had to do something. And instead of speaking out, I imploded it on myself. Oh, Grand Cherokee. That's kind of a bigger one. I have a Wrangler. That's so cool. You have a Jeep too. So I had some serious shit going on. I mean, serious shit. So I started going to counseling. Actually, when I was in junior high, they threw me in counseling. I don't know why. And then when I left my ex-husband, I started a career as being a counselee. I mean, years and years and years and years and years and years and years of being counseled. And it helped me so much discover who I was. I mean, this was my world from my chin up. I had so much self-loathing. I did not identify with my body at all. Completely cut myself off from my body. Before I had a 1970 country loved Jeeps and trucks. Cool. So you know all about the Jeeps. And so it helped me so much that I decided I wanted to be a counselor. So I went to school and I got my master's in marriage, family, and child counseling. And then I went on to be an educational therapist and get board certified as an educational therapist. So I have been counseling and coaching people since 1995. All that to say, we use our own ick and our journey through the ick to enlightenment and finding the pony in the manure. We use that journey as our gifts. That journey becomes our gift to the world. I want you to just let that soak in. Wherever you are right now, whatever difficulties you're facing, as you become strong and come out of it, this becomes your gift that you offer the world. It's almost like Mark Twain that says that forgiveness is the fragrance. Oh, listen to this. Getting chills all over my body. Forgiveness is the fragrance that comes off the violet when it's crushed by a heel. Just let that ruminate into you. Forgiveness is the fragrance that comes off the violet when it's crushed by the heel. Earth angels, those of you who love so deeply, care so deeply about others, don't want anyone to be hurt, are always putting other people ahead of us. We're afraid to shine because we don't want anyone else to not feel good about themselves. This is what's called an earth angel. It's the people that I work with. Well, personally, I work with the people who have had it with the valley. They're like, there's got to be a pony in here, and I'm determined to find it. I am going to win. I'm going to get up to the top of that valley where the sun shines. It's going to stop me. And we just play together because it's more fun in here together. You know you're going to make it. You're just along with me for the ride. And, to clear up a few blocks and confusions once in a while when the boogeyman raises his head. We're the ones who have gone through very controversial lives. Like either we've had abuse, if Child Protective Services would have been around at the time. Hi, Nilita. Wow, so good to see you, darling. 2 nights before that, I had a buddy of mine had an experience sitting by a fire and oh, you've got to look this up. Can you look it up now and tell us what it is? Because coyotes are there's a powerful symbol with coyotes, dear. Growling and then howling, and he ran like hell. I told him, how wild is that? First him and then me 2 days later. This means something, darling. And I want to know what it is. If you can't find out now, will you find out later and drop it in the comments after the show? So we have gone through gut-wrenching childhoods. Most of us have gone through, when I say most of us, I mean most earth angels. And Jack Canfield says that, 85% of people have had dysfunctional families, so what? Which kind of puts it in perspective. It's all what we do with it. And so as we come in with whatever shit we dealt with when we were growing up, and being the person that we swallowed everything back in, and we would throw ourselves under the bus before we would let anybody else get hurt or their feelings get hurt, or speak up because we might hurt their feelings or they might be uncomfortable, or they could be narcissistic types who are intimidating the hell out of us. Maybe we were raised by one or two of them. And so we're so intimidated and so afraid to lose people's approval, because when you're little, you are afraid, because if you do lose their love, you do die. When you're really little, if you lose their love, you do die. And if you get trained early enough, it's like the elephant that's held by just a string to a pole, because when they were little, they were tied by a rope and they couldn't budge. And then as they grew, it was less tight and less tight and less thick and less thick. And now they believe that they can't move. Just like when you put crickets in a jar with a lid on it, and they're trying to bounce out and they're hitting it. After they learn that, you can take the lid off and they don't jump any higher to get out. It's the story of our life as earth angels. I'm here to set you free. I'm here to set you free, give you permission to take up space, to no longer make yourself small so that other people feel comfortable. I'll have to look up later, and yes, I will share. Good. I can't wait to hear, because I know it means something incredible. So as we work our way out of that paper bag and realize that it's just a paper bag, all we have to do is go or spit on it or pee on it, and then it just rips open. But instead we're going, oh my God, we can't see the light. We can't see the light. Oh my God, I'm in the dark. I'm in the dark. Yes, I am wrong. Yes, I am bad. There's so much bad and wrong about me. There's so much bad and wrong about me. What's wrong about me? What's wrong about me? What's wrong about me? What's wrong about me? Because people have been so critical of us around us. We've learned this behavior. And I'm here to tell you that there's everything right about you. You have done nothing wrong. You have done nothing wrong. You do nothing wrong. And if you do something wrong, you just apologize. But to take up space. And what I learned 5 years ago when I was coming off Zoloft, if you're trying to come off Zoloft or any kind of antidepressant, do not do it by yourself. Always consult your physician how to do it. But as I was coming off of Zoloft, I got a revelation one day. I was looking off on the right side of the room, and it just came to me, the words, expression is the opposite of depression. Expression is the opposite of depression. And that has been my guiding light ever since. Whenever we feel depressed, it's because we feel that we can't express ourselves. I'm going to repeat that. Anytime we feel depressed, sad, grief, guilt, doubting ourselves, shame. It's because we are in some sort of the evolution of having started the thought, no, I can't say that. No, I can't do that. And it starts to snowball. And pretty soon we have so much scar tissue built around us, we don't even know who we are. We're afraid to laugh loud. We're afraid to dress the way we want to dress. We're afraid to act the way we want to act. We're afraid to say the stuff we want to say. Today I did a spontaneous live stream, which I'm really loving doing those, by the way. I'm just doing these like 1 or 2 minute things that are just a thought for the day. Well, today I did it on, I'm going out of the checkout line, and there's this beautiful woman checking me out of the checkout line, not checking me out, but in the checkout line. And one lady comes by and stops and gives her a hug. And then the very next person she sees stops and gives her a hug. And I'm leaving, and I got the thought, oh, I want to give her a hug. And then this thing came, oh, but you know what? She's going to think you're weird. You don't know her. She's going to, you're going to be embarrassed. And then I'm like, so that thought was there as choice A, or there was choice B, express myself, which would be to hug her or to ask her if I could hug her. And I chose B because I want to fully express myself. And so I said, so now I'd like to be your third hug in a row. Is it okay if I hug you? And she goes, oh, yes. And we melted right there in the self-check line with like all these other people around me. I don't care. I didn't even look to see who was around me. They're like 8 checkout stations. I'm expressing myself. If I had said no, and it was just so wonderful, and I got to leave with that glow and the feeling of her body on my body and picking up on her beautiful energy and carrying that with me all day, and vice versa. And what I did the spontaneous live on was that if I had said no and denied my soul's calling, that was my soul's calling. That was my soul going, here's your inspiration, do this. If I had said no, I would have put some scar tissue on my life. And I would have been like this. Instead of being open like this, I would have been like this. Got to behave. Got to be proper, can't do that. And inside out, you go, but I don't want to be that way. I want to be the inner 6-year-old. I want to be the other 4-year-old. I don't want to be a grown-up. I don't want to act fucking proper. There's nothing in that. If this is resonating with you, say amen. Those are so fun. I'm not sure what you said. What that was. Those are so fun. Will you remind me what I said, Vicki? Because I missed your the context. So if this is resonating, will you please drop in the comments? And if you're watching the replay, would you please write replay and drop in the comments as we're going through. This is how it happens. When we say no, the next time it's harder to say yes. And the next time it's doubly hard to say yes. And then the next time it's triply hard to say yes. And then pretty soon we're just like getting run over by life, getting run over by other people. Expression is the opposite of depression. Let me see what you got here, Victor. Hugs and healing, both of you. Yeah, benefited from the love hug. Yes, 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 yes. And it was there in public. Your little live streams. Yeah, they're so cool. I'm just in love with doing them. So I'm going to refer to my notes to see if there's anything I missed. But here's the thing. The way out of depression and into bliss, because I am honestly an absolute 100% bliss now. Vicki is too. She's got it. Vicki's been doing this for about a year now with me through these live streams and some of my programs. This is the secret. I reverse engineered how I got out of wishing I could leave the planet somehow almost every single day of my life to, oh my God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have such a huge emotional signature of thanksgiving that just emanates through my body in waves of chemicals that my body will feel when I'm in this bliss. And just this is where youthing comes from. When we are in a state of being so thankful for our life and so in love with ourselves, and get the 3 keys to self-love if you want to know how to do this, because I was the queen of self-loathing and self-hatred. I hated me. I wanted to kill me. I wanted to mutilate me. I had not a shred of respect for myself. And now look at me. Okay? And this was not that long ago. And like I said, there was this balance, it was between self-loathing and then, wow, really? I could be something? Wow, really? And so I slowly went from looking to the outside for approval to it only coming from here. This is so powerful what I'm talking to you about tonight, you guys. The way to bliss out of depression, sadness, guilt, fear, shame, grief, is finally remembering who you are. You are an infinite being. You are an infinite being. That means you had no beginning and you have no end. It's so funny because Google's thing today is this picture of a black hole. Must be some quantum physicist's anniversary or something. And everything slips into the black hole and the black hole disappears. And Rhonda Byrne says in her book, The Power, that if we ceased to exist, the whole universe would collapse because we are such an integral part of the whole thing working. I want you to hear this. You are so important that if you didn't exist, if you did not exist, that doesn't mean die and leave the planet. That means when you leave this body and leave the planet, there is no death. As witnessed by Jackie Keck, no longer on the planet, but she shows up all the time in my groups and on these live streams. She'll pop in. She's not hanging around really because she's off having a great time with her husband and her son and her mom and her dad. But death doesn't exist. We just shed this body and figure out what to do next and have the time of our life, and then sometimes we decide to come back. We are infinite beings. We are infinite beings. We had no beginning, we had no end, and we're so important to the development of the universe that if we didn't exist, the universe would collapse, just like that black hole going into itself, and there was nothing on the screen. So recognizing that we are infinite beings, and we, because we breathe, have a right to take up space. We have a right to laugh loudly. We have a right to embarrass ourselves and embarrass our families. We have a right to be in our full expression and fall in love with that quirkiness. The quirkiness. I'm in love with myself for doing Fairy Godmother Monday. It's so silly, but it's so potent. It's my alter ego. I'm just having fun. Why not? I want to live this life to the fullest. This life, I want to be as prosperous as I can be, and I want to be as expressed as I can be. I want to be 100% me in this lifetime. I don't want to leave anything on the table. I want to fully be my full expression. Oh, wow. I thought when I made this 6 o'clock, I was going to stop yawning. Thank you, universe, for finding me a teacher who taught me to love myself. Lorraine Pursell, yours truly. And thank you for everything and all in my life. Shine on, peace to all. Yes, my beautiful Vixter. So just because you breathe Let's just breathe on that. Breathe all that in. We're not in a rush here, although we do have to get off in about 15 minutes. We are not in a rush here. Just breathe all that in. Know that you are one with everything. You are one with the trees, with the grass, with the birds, with the roads, with the paint, with every key on your keyboard, with the tea you're drinking. You're one with it all. And it's all love. Yeah. Bliss is a choice. Depression, I don't want to say it's an illusion, but I am going to kind of go there a little bit because I found out that by washing my brain, our brains all need washing. I got to stand up. I've been sitting too long. I'm going to stand up and move my hips a little bit. And if you're standing, you might want to do this too. Get some movement in your hips. This is your body. This is your proclamation that I'm taking up space. When you move your hips in a circle, you are declaring to the world, you're declaring to your family. If you're in a meeting, you can do it silently in your chair. No one will know. You can do it in your car. You just move your hips. You can do it imperceptibly so nobody knows you're doing it. But when you move your hips, you're declaring to the world, I'm taking space. So where was I? Just because you breathe, you deserve to take up space. You are worthy of absolute 100% bliss. And you start by, washing my brain. 30 years ago, I stopped watching television. 30 years ago, I stopped listening to the radio because of the Ain't It Awful songs or commercials. Or pretty much, I'll look at billboards because I want to see the clever advertising campaigns. But I won't wash my, and if there's anything that I'm around or seeing or hearing that doesn't make me feel good, I leave. So I completely went on a fast of media. Even though I use social media as a platform for promoting my message, I never just scroll through and read other people's stuff. Once in a while, I'll pop in on one or two of my mentors. And other than that, once in a while, I'll go into some groups that I belong to. I only go here to do live streams and to read your comments. That's all I use social media for, is to promote my message. That's it. So I have cut off anything that doesn't make me feel good. If it's important, I'll hear about it. Like 9/11, my sister and I were living on my boat at the time. I had a sailboat, and we went out to take a shower, and he goes, "Oh, isn't it awful? What? He goes, "Oh, the Twin Towers." And I'm like, okay, that's how I learned. If it's important, you're going to find out. You don't have to take a bath in the hardship and the suffering of the world. Humans are addicted to drama and suffering. So it's a big body of work. You have to be ready. See, this is a large part of why, and there's no condemnation in this. It took me years. All we need is love. It is so true. The Beatles had it. Forgot where I was going. You have to be ready. This was it. You have to be ready to leave depression and sadness and grief and drama and being involved in everybody else's hand-wringing. I'm not around anybody's drama. It's their drama, not mine. Nobody's. I send light and love around the world. If I hear about something sad happening somewhere in the world, I'm sending light and love to them, but I'm not getting involved in the details. The more you get involved in the details, the more your mind starts obsessing, then pretty soon you can't get it out of your mind, and then you're feeling sad and miserable, and you're of no service to anybody when you're feeling down and out. And I used to feel guilty about that. We're also the people who feel guilty about feeling good when other people around us are suffering. I'm calling no on that. The most powerful thing you can do to save the planet is to be in your own happiness. Be in your own bliss. Be in your own ecstatic nature. Let your life be one of experiencing incredible joy and bliss. That's where I am now. And on days when it's a little rough, because I won't tell you, I won't lie and say sometimes I don't have rough days. There was a day 2 days ago where I felt like I just couldn't snap out of it, like I was in a rubber wall all around me and I couldn't reach it. But I stayed the course. I did what it took until it took. I washed my brain with my mentors and things that I record on my iPhone from my mentors in voice memos. And I washed my brain all night long while I'm sleeping, 24 hours a day. I'm pretty much, now I don't have to listen during the day all the time, which is like a miracle. I've been doing this now for, I'd say, a good solid 10 years. 24 hours a day, and it's just recently that I've cracked it where I don't have to listen to it all the time in the daytime. But as soon as I see myself slipping, I'm right back plugging that stuff in, right back plugging this and washing my brain. Pretty soon, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Pretty soon, you're like, oh yeah, I am the creator of life. Oh yeah, I can do this. You start to feel inspired. Some days it's like, oh my God, there's nothing that could inspire me today. And then you just maybe think, well, what if I was inspired? What would be the most inspiring thing for me to do right now? What would be the most fun for me to do? Well, maybe get up and make a little cup of coffee. So you get up and you go get a little cup of coffee, and then you, okay, what would be, where would I like to drink this? Okay, I'm going to sit out underneath my elm tree. Okay, now you're like building some momentum. So now you're sitting under your elm tree with the cup of coffee, and then you're like, okay, what's the most aligned thing for me to do now? That always means what feels good. Oh, well, it's, oh, look at that cardinal up in the tree there. Wow, and that's a pretty cloud. And then pretty soon, you're starting to see the clouds. The sun is popping through the clouds. Girlfriends, boyfriends, this is how it works. It's a choice. And we have to be willing to give up the identity as someone suffering, carrying the burdens of the world, the one that's always here to listen to everyone's problems. I gave that role up. We have to be ready to find out who we are. Giselle, hi honey, I didn't know you were here. That being a depressed, sad burden carrier is not who we are. Giving up that identity and taking on something new. It's profound, you guys. I had an identity around it. I was a fucking counselor. I used to, hey, just, let's just spread your shit all over me so I can totally feel it and get in there with you and experience it with you. And, in a large part, that was why my practice was so successful. And everybody I worked with got incredible results, because I wasn't the type that said, well, okay, I'm over here and you're over there, so you're untouchable and your stuff will not reach me. That just didn't work for me. So my practice was one of, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. I've been there. It's been done to me, or I've experienced it with experiencing through my clients. But I reached a point where I couldn't do that any longer, and that's why I stopped being a counselor after 23 years. So you have to be really willing to trade in that identity. And what's the new one? Like, what would it be like? Imagine just now, what would it be like if you weren't sad and depressed? Who would you be? It's like something we put on every day. And then there's the 800-pound gorilla who is not going to give up too easily, who greets you every single morning when you wake up. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. The problems of yesterday come flooding in. I've trained myself now. The first thing I do when I wake up, plus I'm listening to, I have Subliminal Ocean going on speaker in my former iPhone that used to work, that now I just use as an MP3 player. And then, so that's playing like ocean subliminal stuff. And then I have this one that's a message from one of my mentors playing all night long. So I am getting washed all night long while I sleep. And as soon as I start to notice that I'm coming back to this world, as soon as I can catch a thought, oh yeah, I'm doing that. It's thank you, 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 thank you. I start to really feel it in my body. And then I go into what is the highest ideal of who I can be today? What is the highest ideal of me today? And I lay there and I remember who I am. The highest ideal of me is not a sad, depressed, feeling bad woman. It's a global uplifter that has a message to give. I am a light and I've helped so many people. Oh yeah, now I remember who I am. I'm an infinite being. God is just waiting to hear what I want to create so he can co-conspire, he or she can co-conspire, can conspire and move all the components on my behalf to bring about my thing that I want, which is have multi-million reach, bring in multiple millions of dollars so I can use that to serve people. There's only so much that I'm going to need and want. A lot of luxuries, but so, and make millions, serve millions, influence greatly, and give back luxuriously. That's what I want to do. Influence and impact millions. Live richly and give back abundantly. That's my end result. And so I hold that and I feel the feeling of that. And I get back into my imagination of my 3-year-old, 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old. I go back to that imagination and I pretend and I act as if. And when I drive by my banks, there are 2 banks that I have claimed. I'm going to have 500 million in one and 500 million in another. And my Wells Fargo bank is going to be overflowing. And all that money is going to be, my job will then be, where do I want to give this money? What foundation do I want to start with this money? That's going to be my then full-time job. How do I want to use this money to serve? That's the experience that I want. So I hold that vision. And then when I'm driving, even no matter how I feel, if I'm driving by those banks, and sometimes I'll actually drive into the parking lots. I don't have any accounts there yet. But as I drive into those banks, I pretend like I'm going through the drive-through and to deposit another $100,000, watching my balance grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And I only want to earn that money out of doing good for the planet, being a contributor, a major contributor. And so as I feel that expanded feeling, those feelings, those thoughts produce chemicals, a chemical soup in my body. And I've got to get off, but I'm going to leave you with this one thing. 100,000 cells every second die in our bodies. And every second, 100,000 cells, is that right? 100,000 cells are born. And of our 60 trillion cells in our body, they're just sitting there waiting for you to give them a thought and a feeling so that they know what chemicals to produce in your body. If we're sad and depressed, we're in a downward spiral, we start to physically hurt, we get diseases. If we're in the feel good, we follow the feel good. We feel good. I feel really good when I think about being the kind of woman that commands 500 million in one bank and 500 million in another bank, driving my little Jaguar or Lamborghini sports car or Rolls Royce sports car. I know they'll have one by that time, but something really like, whoa, over the top, just like the settled, I have that feeling, and I just feel very commanding, and I just, I just am that woman. And for now, I'm driving my Porsche. I've got the little Porsche emblem. I see it on my Jeep, my steering wheel, and that is, I can feel a flood of chemicals in my body. My chest goes in this upward spiral flutter. Play with it. I have a nature CD listening to with birds, water, and rain, and also have a mama robin building a nest in my kitchen window. Yay, I will be able to see the babies. That's so amazing. Repeating, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy, and smile. So that's all I have time for tonight, my loves. Drop your comments. For more of my work, I invite you to get my ebook at www.3keys2selflove.com. www.3keys2selflove.com. Nothing is more important than that you feel good. Nothing is more important than that you feel good. It's the only way you can be of any service to anybody, really. Sympathy doesn't hurt anybody. I mean, doesn't really help. Sympathy and getting down in the ditch with someone else kind of keeps both of you in the ditch. I invite you to watch this again, and maybe again, and maybe again, and share it with your friends who could use this message for today. This is Lorraine Pursell. Join me here, Facebook.com/Lorraine Pursell MA, every Monday and Friday mornings at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Monday, Fairy Godmother Monday, where I help you make your own dreams come true. Friday is Body Talk Friday, where we tap into the wisdom of our bodies. And every Wednesday night for an Empowered Earth Angel training at 6 p.m. Eastern. Get on my email list by getting my my ebook, and you'll get the email announcements. Sweet dreams, and I'm going to try to look up coyotes. Yes. Okay, I love you. I can't wait to see you again. Bye.